All right, guys. So a while back, I was actually working on this thing. Was going to actually try and drive it around with the stock computer system that's in it. I put these new RT wheels and tires and stuff on it. And then I went to go pull it out to drive it, and one of the brake lines broke. So I got a little bit of time right now. We're going to get underneath of it. I've got new brakes, new brake lines, new shocks and stuff. Getting it to a point where it'll be ready to drive when we start doing the Terminator X Max kit, billet dizzy and all that stuff. But it'll be ready for driving when that comes. And maybe we get all this stuff fixed. Maybe we can take it on a little test drive. And because this thing hasn't been on the road since 2000, probably 10, 11-ish. So a little while. So let's get it back in here and get it up on the lift, start tearing into it. And here we got our table full of parts. I ordered all this stuff from Rock Auto literally over a year ago. It's just been sitting in the back of the Durango. We've got everything for the front here. We've got new front brake rotors, new pads, new brake hoses for the front, caliper hoses. Then we've got new front and rear shocks. We've got a rear brake hose, and then we've got some rear wheel cylinders. We'll get this up in the air. We're going to start with the front, and we'll make our way to the back. We'll get the rear drums apart, check the rear wheel cylinders. We've got that new rear brake line that goes from the hard line to the top of the rear axle, and then your hard lines run out. So we'll get all the lines and stuff done, get the tank dropped, repair the broken line underneath the tank. Hopefully it's not too bad. We'll get the rear shocks put on as well. Anyways, let's get this up, start yanking this thing apart. Well, I got both front calipers off because they won't compress. This one's actually stuck out pretty far. This one's not nearly as far as that one, but they still won't compress enough to get new pads and new rotors on and like get it all assembled. I guess I'll try and go find some calipers, and we'll try and get this front end back together. All right, so we went up to Napa. Picked up a couple new brake calipers. Napa's so much better priced on their things than some of the other parts suppliers. So we got a couple from Napa, and got one side already on. The new calipers come black. We got new hoses, new shocks. All right, guys, so we're back underneath the truck, and I made a new line right here, right at this junction where the I put that new rear axle hose in, and we run a new sectional line up here with a compression fitting right there. It had actually rotted out right where this little plastic clip is, where it's clipped in with the loom. Those little clips will hold dirt and stuff, and it actually rotted and it had a hole in it right there. But yeah, there was a little hole. Obviously you can tell that right there. The line was all rotted, but that was where it set in that clip and whatnot. So I went down a little ways, found a good section of line, a little rusty, but not bad. This was the really thin stuff up here. Like I can probably, yeah, see, I put a little pressure on it and opened that hole up. But we got a new section in there. We've got the rear shocks on. So now I've already got everything underneath the front end done. I've got the shocks on the back, and I've got to pull this wheel off, put a wheel cylinder in this side. I'm gonna go ahead and soak the lines going into the back of those wheel cylinders with some WD-40, and they're not super rusty, but it sure would be nice to be able to get those out. So I'm gonna go ahead and soak those lines there, and then tomorrow I'll come out, pop these springs off, and we'll slap some new wheel cylinders in it. And then since I got the tank out, I'll go ahead and try and bleed the brakes, make sure that compression fitting doesn't leak, and make sure the brake system and everything bleeds all right, and then we'll go worry about putting the tank back. All right, so we got all the brakes and everything done, and everything's bled, everything's good. Put everything back together. We're gonna get the truck outside because we got some more work we're gonna do to it, and this is gonna be the ticket to getting this thing to look good. Guys, we're still tinkering with the Durango, so we're back out here with the Durango today, and this has been driving me nuts. Somewhere along the lifespan of this truck, somebody had been through and tried to fix this bumper and this quarter panel at some point and repaint it. She got a little thin on clear coat there. I think I can save it without having to paint it. I mean, you can see where there's still some, like where it's just starting to burn through the clear there. We're gonna have to do some sanding on this thing, but I'm gonna go ahead, and then the same thing with the wheel arch too. You can tell they did the wheel arch because there's a big, huge run right there. But we're gonna get out some, I think we're gonna do some gray Scotch-Brite, kind of see how some of this, because there's a lot of, you can see like the etching in the clear and stuff. So we may have to 2000 grit this and then get it flat and then go through and then Scotch-Brite it maybe. And then hopefully we can put some clear coat on it without having to paint it. But let's do some sanding here. I'm gonna get this off, tail light off. I don't know about the wheel arch just yet, but we'll get this stuff off. I'll probably go ahead and start with this gas door here and hit it with a little Scotch-Brite and then clear coat it. And we're gonna show you what clear I'm gonna use on this. All right, we got the gas door here all scuffed up. Got all the sheen taken off of it. I'll show you what we're gonna try out on this. Whoa. Made by Transtar, Jamming Clear. Hit it with a little tack coat here. Well, I'm getting impatient. I got it sanded and just got it wiped off. You can see all the streaks on the window there. And I was gonna mask it off and do all that stuff. I think I'm just gonna whip this can out here. We'll let this dry off, and then we'll start throwing some of this Jamming Clear on it. And if we can make it look 5 times better or 2 times better or 50% better, that's a win, because it looked like crap. But yeah, we'll let this dry and then we'll throw some clear on it. All right, y'all, so I got clear on this thing and got a couple little runs because the rattle can clear kind of, you can see one right there. The rattle can clear whenever you're spraying it. You gotta really watch where you stop. We got a couple little sags, but we'll see what it flashes out like. And you know, we're gonna end up buffing the whole truck anyway, so we'll probably 2000 grit it or 2500 just to knock it flat, polish it, and if it lasts a couple years or something, I think we'll be all right. But overall, I mean, just right now it looks pretty good. Now it's gonna make me want to redo this bumper. I'm gonna go let this sit for a while. I'll end up putting it in a shop probably tonight. We'll get up in the morning and come back out here and check it out and see what it looks like. And then we'll compare it to this door. And I may end up just trying to hit this door with the polisher and try and see about what it's gonna look like with that. And yeah, I don't know. But we'll get back to it in the morning. It's the next day, and had a chance to let this clear sit overnight. And there's a couple little spots that I was trying to razor blade last night. It was pretty hard, but it's not perfect, far from it, but neither is the truck. But anyway, so I mean, 5 foot looks pretty good. I did go through, and as you can tell, like, this door's pretty shiny. I did hit this with the polisher to try and brighten it up a little bit, because this obviously was kind of faded where this was super shiny. So I went over it pretty quick with the polisher. I mean, you can tell from this door to this door, just the difference. This one didn't get polished and this one did. But still see a little bit right there in the haziness. You can see where the old clear coat and stuff was faded. I'm hoping that whenever I block sand this, that'll come out. And then, like, this was some like heavy stuff up here. I ran the razor blade over backwards just to kind of see if I could smooth that out some with the razor blade. This one here is really heavy too. We had a little heavy spot right there, and then down here on the, looks like just that one really right here, which, considering I was spraying with a rattle can. But yeah, I'm gonna break the block out and try and hit this with some 2000 to polish it and see what happens. So all right, so we got it all sanded, at least the majority of it. I'll probably touch up this back here a little bit and then down here a little bit more. Getting some compound out. Got the old polisher out here, the old Harbor Freight polisher, and we're gonna go to town. We got a couple, 2 or 3 different steps we're gonna use on it, and then we'll see how it looks when we get done. All right, so we got our first stage of cutting done, and not too bad. All right, guys, well, we got the quarter all polished up. I did, like I said, I polished this rear door a little bit just so it would blend a little better, so it didn't look quite as like bright next to a panel that was just old and dull. But the whole truck needs to be washed and detailed, and my plan is to probably clay bar and polish this whole thing. The hood is pretty well wrecked, so I don't know how well the hood's going to come out, but let me show you what the quarter looks like. It's not perfect, it's got some imperfections in it, but the truck is not perfect. I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of time and money. It just, now it doesn't have a completely wrecked quarter panel on it. But anyways, let me show you what it looks like. All right, there it is. You know, it's definitely a 5-footer. You can see some stuff in it, you know, some swirls and such. But for, you know, something that had been burnt by the sun because of lack of clear coat, I wasn't real sure that was going to come around. The gas door did some funny stuff there where, like, I don't know, I think the paint was just really thin on that, so I may end up pulling that off and just putting a little paint on it. You can see I need to polish a little bit more right there. But I mean, overall, looks pretty good. What do you think? Not too bad for like $25 worth of clear coat in a rattle can. A little bit of sanding, a little bit of polishing, and looked pretty good. I got my runs out for the most part. There's a little, you can still see a little bit of a sag right there and some haziness in the clear. I need to do some more polishing there as well. Yeah, there's a little bit of polishing that needs to be done there. Had a little sag there on the, oh, I missed one right here. A little bit there, but there was one right here that I got out. You can still kind of see it, but that may be the running or the over fender itself. Actually kind of looks like there's a dent there, but like I said, not too bad. Now it's all shiny. The bumper's kind of the next thing that needs to be done. I did get a little overspray on the bumper. You can see it's kind of shiny there, but I'll go through and clean all that off. Overspray. I'll get some overspray remover to get that off. I may end up just trying to find like a different bumper online somewhere that somebody's got that's clean. Something that's black that I don't have to paint. But overall, looks pretty good. It's getting to a point where, you know, it's honestly, it's a pretty nice car. We still got to gut the interior and detail everything. But now I feel a little bit better about driving it now that it doesn't have one quarter panel that's just wrecked on it. Anyways, that's going to do it for our little video today. So, ain't got to be expensive. You can save some of this old terrible paint every now and then, but ain't got to spend a whole lot of money. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep following. We'll see you on the next one.